Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. Yeah, well, I made a mistake, so I have to play catch up now. It's just an oversight. Nothing I could do. We're doing J.W. Dant. J.W. Dant's blended Scotch whiskey. This company was founded in 1836. When they started importing Scotch, I do not know. Started as a bourbon producer in Kentucky. It's now under the control of Heaven Hill. I'm like, be interesting if somebody could find out a history of the whole company. I was not able to find it. I may not have searched too hard. I bought that 1 liter bottle at Dorgnac's for $8.99 plus tax. True story. We're going up against Scoresby. Very rare. So rare you can get it at Walmart. Well, they discontinued it at this local Walmart, so maybe at your Walmart. But Maxwell, hello, Ron. Glad to see you. Hello, Maxwell. I'm glad to see you. So here's Scoresby blended Scotch whiskey. I know it was introduced in 1960, and now it's under the, how the light's hitting it. Nice, huh? Now it's under the control of Diageo. So I don't know who came out with it at first. I can't find too much information about Scoresby on the internet. Okay, so like you basically just they're there, you buy them or you don't. Now it was about $15.65 for that bottle. About $15.65. And other in other states, much cheaper. So I overlooked Scoresby, like I was doing all these Scotch taste challenge. I'll get it right. Taste challenges on Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, Saturday, Sunday morning, and then I was doing other liquor brands, and then I thought, oh, did you ever do Scoresby against all of these? And I realized the other day I had not. I said, oh man. Well, I'm not trying to drink down the bourbon that I have left anyway. So that gives me a little wiggle room to do some double ups. So that's good. And then I'll catch up. Then it'll just be back to those Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday things. Okay. And that'll be it. That's enough. All right. They're both aged 36 months, 3 years. They're both blended Scotch whiskeys. There's 2 main types of Scotch, blended and single malt. And you can read about that. Think of it along the lines sort of like, and this is not a totally accurate comparison, but it's just along the lines of straight bourbon whiskey versus blended American whiskey, American blended whiskey. Think of it along those lines. There are some similarities, okay? In the idea of it. This business about very rare, you know. Now the J.W. Dant is bottled in Bardstown, Kentucky by Heaven Hill. No use even looking it up on their website because there's no Facebook, there's no website for it. There's a product list and there's no photos, and it just gives you the bottle sizes. That's it. And maybe the proof, which I believe is all 80 proof. There is some J.W. Dant bourbon, and I think there's J.W. Dant bottled in bond. You know what? I want to retract that. I think they do sell the J.W. Dant bourbon at Dorgnac's. I believe that's the one where it shows the 4 taste components on the bottle, like corn, rye, wheat, and then something else. I was thinking, oh yeah, okay. Johnny Neely, good afternoon, Ron. Listening as I drive home from work. Half day today. Cheers. Oh, excellent, excellent. Half day. I always like half days. So, and these videos are more of like a radio show than video, because what are you going to look at? If the color is the same, it's not much difference. I mean, people know what whiskey looks like, that golden appearance. I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste it. Okay. There are some differences. I'm trying to make sure I got the same amount poured. Yeah, pretty much. I better sip down the Scoresby. So I know the Scoresby came out in 1960. The Dant, I know the company was founded in 1836. But when the actual Scotch came along, I don't know. And I'll probably never know. Appearance. The Dant is clearly dark. The Dant is clearly darker. I got, this morning I did a taste challenge with the two American blended whiskeys, King Square and Barton. Got them mixed up. I'm over here talking about how much more rye oriented and sour mash, and it's like sourdough bagel, the Barton, and then all of this. And what I had them mixed up. I could blame it on Krampus showing up, terrifying me and all. It had nothing to do with Krampus. It was just me getting it wrong. And if you want to get a lot of taste challenges wrong, do it blind and do American blended, and you are almost certain to get them wrong. Or maybe you won't. Am I secretly trying to get you to do taste challenges so I can watch them? No, but I'm not discouraging it either. I think we could use some more of those. It's cool today. It's about 76 right now. It's dry. The cold front has come through. The clouds have gone pretty much. Blue skies won't last, but a second cold front's coming in 2 days. So it was a little chilly today. I have socks on. Usually from May till October, I'm stripped down to shorts because it's so warm and humid. If you're like me and you like hot, humid weather and don't mind sweaty, hot weather, you'd like it. You see, it'd be pleasant to you. But other people would just hate it. But this is crisp weather. It's one of those 30 days a year we get. I'm estimating. I think it's probably 30. Might be less, but it might be 30. Those trees are loaded with fruit. Just thousands of citrus fruits from where I am to the railroad track. It's unbelievable. Dozens of trees, thousands of fruits. And then back over there in the spring, you have the blackberries. Gotta be careful with those because you get the rattlesnakes and the water moccasins that kind of nest in there, and you might be reaching in there and be very unhappy with what you get. It won't be a blackberry. Okay. I just reminded myself that the appearance is different, so I gotta be careful. The Dant is darker, so that would be a mental picture I have, and if I glance, I'll know. Well, I'd be able to tell these apart. Well, I don't know. I got it all confused with King Square. So I guess King Square outperformed the Barton, right? It is higher percentage of straight bourbon, 27.5. So I guess you just get the King Square. But usually with these kind of items, blended whiskey, heck, just shop price. Just shop price, because you're not going to get, unless it's something that stands out like the 7 Crown, Seagram 7 Crown, just shop price. With these blended whiskeys here, I mean, these Scotch whiskeys, that's probably what I would do. I mean, I do have a taste for that Clan McGregor. And, well, they're all pretty nice, actually. The Cuddy Sark is kind of bland, and the Piper Dean is very bland. The one from Albertsons, Sazerac imports it for Albertsons, pretty bland. So I don't think I would buy that one, even though it's only $5.99. I think the price went up to $6.99, but I wouldn't buy it. Koanur, it says, hi, enjoying your taste challenges. Too bad some of these less known American whiskeys are hard, probably impossible to get. Trade tax war with Trump not helping either. Right. Cheers from Germany, right? The import taxes. Well, in the long run, they'll probably get it worked out And then the countries that are in conflict will just have to trade on par. You know what I'm saying? If they just say, look, you know, it's up to you. You want to we'll put a 10% import tax on your goods across the board, and you put a 10% on ours. And if they say, no, we're going to do 35% on yours, and you only can do 10% on ours, then he's just going to say, well, then forget it. Okay. It's going to be even. This is not the old days where there's a guilt trip and we're trying to and hurt America. All right, well, let's get off of that. All right, so here we go. Okay, sweet, candy, sugary, musty, grain alcohol type thing. What about smoking peat? Right, what about it? It's not there, and that's making me think Dance, because if I remember, Dance had not much aroma going for it. It was pretty dull, but the flavors where the smoke came out, and it was like wallop, you know, a wallop. You say, whoa, you can't believe it's there. Okay, now the Scoresby had a lot more peat, delicate peat and smoke aroma, smoked barley, and column still grain, of course, and similar to the Clan McGregor. Okay. It's mostly just some indistinguishable grain corn, probably. So, okay. It's going to be tough because I'm not smelling much different. So, Now, John and Illy had to get the big bottle of Scoresby, the 1.75 milliliter. That would have been nice, and I could have gotten it at Walmart, but I wasn't paying $23. It was $35. Then they did a closeout sale, and it dropped to $23. I went there the other day. It's all gone. I guess people bought it. But I know people bought it. They're not gonna throw it away. They just keep it on the discount shelf forever. Just keep lowering the price until it sells. Like the Clan McGregor was $9.79 for years, and then they closed it out $8.50. Then it was $7, and then they marked it to $5. Well, that was it. Might have lasted one day on the shelf for $5. I mean, you know, people say, "Oh, I'll take it." My friend David's like, "Why didn't you buy me one?" So I didn't know you wanted it. I said, "It's gone now. Believe me. There's no way if I go back over that other bottle's gonna be there." And of course, it was not. I just happen to usually shop at Walmart about 6:30 in the morning. Because those sales are gone. Those things are gone by 10 o'clock. I mean, people come in and just, you know, wipe, you know, just blow through it. Just blow through it. And for anything, you know, day old, don't, I mean, just, they mark it down to nothing, basically. They're just giving it away. They'd rather, you know, they'd rather sell it for a little bit of money than just throw it out. So the aroma, I don't know, y'all. Can't tell. I can't tell. So I have to go. It is a taste challenge, right? Yeah. There's an undertaste of grain whiskey, grain alcohol. And that's kind of harsh. And then there's the peat and the smoke, the peaty smoke. But if you're used to single malt whiskey and high quality blended, perhaps even, you might be appalled by this. You might say, whoa, what is that clunky item there? Hey, that's why it's $8.99 or $15.49, depending on the bottle and the city in which you live. Okay. Well, of course, you're getting the underlying grain alcohol burn, the harshness. If you think it's smooth, it isn't. But this one here seems to have a little mellower peat smoke or something like that. Okay. There's the Kansas City Southern Railroad. Y'all want? Just kidding. They don't want any till afterward. I think doesn't the Scoresby have like a little more of a waxy note, like a beeswax something? I don't know what kind of wax it is, but it seems to have that. This doesn't have the waxiness. It just has more of a roast pork. Oh, ho, 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 ho. There's a sign. Didn't I say the Dants had a more of a roast pork? A smoked, not roast, smoked pork. Smoked pork roast. That's what I was. That's right. Smoked. Okay. So now which one do I like better before I try to call it? Well, okay, let's see. Okay. I wouldn't say I'm in love with either one, honestly. This one's a little bitter at the end, too. Huh. It's got no hops in it. Like beer, huh? Right? It's a little bitter note, though. Strange. Do I like better? It's hard to say. It's a tie. I mean, they both have a little bit of positive character. A little bit. They're I mean, they're budget Scotch whiskey, so they are what you expected them to be. They aged 3 years. They're minimum. You know, they're a minimum product. They follow the minimum guidelines, and they're bottled in the United States. They ship them over in big tankers, I guess, some kind of ship with tanks full of Scotch, and they bottle it in Kentucky, I would assume. It's cheaper than shipping individual bottles. You don't have to worry about the bottles breaking. Now, does that make the whiskey worse than it would be if it was in a bottle? I really don't know. It may not. It may not. I don't know. I'm doing taste challenge. I'm not an expert. You have to ask an expert, I'm afraid. So tie on flavor, tie on quality. I guess they're about the same quality. Pretty sure Diageo and Heaven Hill have some standards and they know what they're doing. These are masters of their art. These companies have been around for so long. Is this their best stuff? You know it is not. Most of these big companies offer budget items, okay? They just do. Why? Because people will buy it. That's why. And then on the other hand, they offer super deluxe premium products that will cost a fortune. So Diageo gives you a Scoresby, you know, hey, and they turn right around and give you Johnny Walker Blue Label. So you can go buy Scoresby for $15.49 over here. I'm talking about Louisiana. Or you can turn around and buy Johnny Walker Blue Label for $250 at the same store. Well, down the street at Dornex, $250. Or from Heaven Hill, you can get J.W. Dant for $8.99 a liter. Or you could really step up in the world and get some of those Elijah Craig barrel proof items, and way more expensive than that too. Way more expensive stuff. I mean, they have ultra deluxe stuff, but you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay maybe $100. So you're gonna get what you pay for. That's what's gonna happen in your life. You want to live in a huge, big, modern house with all the amenities and a huge yard and a wonderful neighborhood. Well, you could do that, but it's going to cost you a whole lot of money. I'm not saying it isn't worth it. Just going to cost. But I mean, did I need to tell you that? If you have no brain, you would not realize that. But you were probably intelligent. and you probably realize that. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this is Scoresby, and this is the Dance. Left hand Scoresby, right hand Dant. Could be reversed for you. I'm not sure. Well, let me read the comments. LSX Tapia. What's up, Ronald? Good morning. Well, it's afternoon here, but good morning to you. When's the next beer guessing video coming? You know, that's a good question. It's so much easier to do the liquor because you just pour a little bitty bit, you know, and you mix them around. Beer, then you got these 2 cans or bottles, and you got to drink them down. I don't know, man. And I'm running out of ideas on beer, I'll tell you the truth. Oh, well, I don't think we'll survive. That's no tragedy. Okay, so let's see. No, it's Dant in my left hand. It scores. I knew it was Scoresby in my right after I said it, but it was too late. I couldn't change course because I could feel the label, and the label was longer because I put JWD on one label, and I put Scoresby, spelled it out, and my finger touched it. I could feel it. And I'm not going to cheat, okay? I said, no, you called it. That's it. And if you got to get on the internet and cheat to try to tell 2 inexpensive blended Scotch whiskeys, one from another, for some reason to build up your channel and try to build credibility, you're crazy. There's no purpose in cheating behind this. It just, okay, you take products that are nearly identical. Well, guess what? You're going to have a hard time telling them apart. If we're at work and we want to go to lunch, we're going to talk about Rally's, Burger King, McDonald's, or Sonic. We're not going to sit there and break it down into a complex argument over that. Or what else? Wendy's around here? Because there's like, oh, they're all kind of like the same, you know. So we're just going to go with whatever coupons we have. Honestly, whatever's cheapest. And that's what we do. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, Burger King is just so much. And there's differences, you know, like Rally's has much better French fries, so does McDonald's. Burger King's French fries tend to be inferior. That's the extent that it's that bad. Plus, some of the stuff they have is better than the other people. So we just shop price, or just like say, well, like a toss-up. You know what I mean? And that's what this is, a toss-up. So you say, why even do it? Why even do it? Well, because I don't like to do those shot in the dark type of things where you just do a couple and you say, I've shown something. No, I think a round robin tournament is much better. You cover all the bases. You go one brand against all the rest, one brand against the next, and then the next guy goes up. Then you do the repetition, because you know that's important in experiment. When you do experiments in science, you want to have repetition. One time doesn't prove anything. You want it to be valid and you want it to be reliable. Well, I think the taste challenge was valid. It tested what it was supposed to test. Is it reliable? Yes, because the results tend to keep repeating. You notice that? It's just the same story. You can't really tell them apart. With Canadian whiskey, that's a little different. Those might be more distinct. Why? I don't know. I've noticed that. With bourbon, they tend to be a little more distinct. American blended whiskeys, they're even less distinct than the Scotch. You're really talking about run-of-the-mill stuff there. I didn't say it was bad, but I sure never said it was good. It's acceptable. I understand the concept if you don't say something's bad because you don't like the style. That's true. Some people like the style, American blended whiskey. Some people like it. That's all they buy. You cannot say, well, I don't like the style, so it's bad. No, wrong. Now, on the other hand, it's a cheap style. Sazerac says that on their own website. We have a huge portfolio of American blended whiskeys for the budget-conscious consumer. Got it? Football chat. Have you reviewed Boddington's yet? Yes. Yes, I have quite a few times. And Johnny Neely just did a video this morning and I watched it. So Boddington's is in play out there. Yeah, you will probably enjoy the videos. So I do like the kind of residual smoke that they have, though. They do have some character. And my friend David did like the dance. It's too bad I deleted the video, but it was a little too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, too much silly stuff going on. Like, maybe there was too much pre-game activity involving alcoholic beverage consumption. Not necessarily on my part, but anyway, I said, heck, I'll just delete it. He didn't oppose it. He didn't disagree with it. But we could restage it. You know what I mean? I don't mean stage it in a fake way. I mean, we could redo it. The taste challenge. He was very pleased. Sometimes now, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. Sometimes when you do these taste challenges, you get different results than when you do a standalone tasting. It's strange to me. I still haven't gotten a handle on that. But you do these things in isolation, and they come across a lot differently than when you put them up one against the other. I don't know why. But there's another reason why you should do the solo, and then you put it in the taste challenge. There's something about a human being's taste perception and aroma perception. It gets garbled or confused one episode to the other, and in different setups relative to the other. Like I'm saying, solo to matchups, contests. So okay, no harm, no foul. Got it wrong. Nothing new there. I would hate to see my track record on these. It's probably not too impressive, but then it might be better than most people. Maybe it's worse. How would I know? I'm not seeing anybody else doing it. Okay. So that will round out Scoresby for now. The next splendid Scotch whiskey down the road will be, I think it'll be J&B. Yeah. Might just be. I can't say that for sure, but it just might be. That'll be a fascinating series, don't you think? And then we've got a long way to go with these American blended whiskeys as they compete against King Square, which has been real tricky, you see, very tricky. I keep talking bad about King Square, but then I keep getting it wrong. So I'm talking bad about it, but it's beating everybody in the sense that I'm saying it's inferior, but yet it's winning. Because I got them confused. I got the brands mixed up when I'm doing the blind taste test. So that's arguing against my contention and arguing for their quality. Not to say that the quality is that high, because it is not. But it's better than you might imagine. And then with Canadian whiskey, well, I guess you may as well get ready, because Canadian Hunter's on the way. That should spark some interest. That's sort of a legendary product in some parts of the world, or some settings in the world. And then we've got Rich and Rare Reserve, which might be even. Thanks for watching this taste challenge, and until we meet again, take care, and y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.